Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and we're going to make a little acetate cylinder, and I haven't got one made. This will be my first one, but I just practiced a little bit on this piece of acetate, stamping it and scoring it and that kind of thing. So we're going to try our luck at this. I know this is going to be hard to see because this is a piece of acetate, but when I get it stamped, you'll be able to see it better. And so we're going to start out with a piece of acetate that is 5.5 by 8.5. And I have an old stamp here. Have no idea where it came from. I have stamps that I bought at yard sales and different things that I keep and use those over and over again. So this is just an old stamp. So we're going to try it. It stamped pretty good a minute ago. We're also going to be using Stays On black, jet black ink. Any other kind of ink that you use on here, just about any other kind, is going to wipe off. It's going to have to be an ink that has a solvent, like a glue solvent in it, that's going to make it stick to this. So all we're going to do, this is it's kind of a swirly vine type pattern, and I do have my stamping, my cush block under there, and then a piece of paper just to catch the overage, and we're just going to stamp it random, just random patterns. Press it down, don't press it too hard because it will smear. Pull it straight back up. As you can see, I did get a little bit of smudging there, but that's going to be okay once we get this done. And then just kind of turn it different ways. Stamp kind of on and off your project. And try not to let it slide. Mine just slid again, so that one's going to be a little bit yuck. Yep. But we're learning. It's hard with this big block not to let it slide. Stamp it straight down. Try to pull it straight up. There we go. That one's a lot better. So we'll let this be the bottom where I messed up there. We're all learning together here. Stamp straight down, pull straight up. Kind of see, we're going to let this dry just a little bit. There you go. You can see the stamping now. And like I said, this one will be the bottom, so we won't worry about that. A little bit of smudging here or there, we're not going to worry about. Not going to be concerned about it. I think it's pretty anyway. While that is drying, I'm going to take my Rose Madder archival ink, and this is a little stamp. This is like one of those dollar stamps. I'm just going to ink that up. It's not going to be real dark. And we're just going to stamp that down. There we go. And then I'm going to color this up a little bit, just using some of my Copic markers. I'm not going to do a lot of shading. I'm just going to put a little color on it. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm using R29 and G17, and then we may grab another one here or there. So I'm going to put some R29 in here. Right, so that is it for our coloring. Not a lot. And now I'm going to take my 2-inch circle punch, and I'm just going to center that in there as best I can. That looks pretty good. Going to punch that out. And then I'm going to take just a scrap piece, and I think I might use this one. No, not particularly like that with it. I'm just going to take a scrap piece of this, and this is a 2.5-inch scallop, 2.25-inch scallop punch. I'm going to punch that out. And I'm going to put that right down there. I think I'm going to go around the edges with just a little bit of ink. I just don't really like white edges. Trying not to get the ink off of my hands all over this. There we go. So I am just going to use a little glue, pokey tool as I call it, and I'm just going to find my top, which looks like about right there, and I am going to use this cushion on here and I'm going to poke a hole in there. Okay, I started scoring on the wrong side. I'm not going to try to re-stamp this and do it all over. This will just be my test piece and we will just go on from here. But you need to put it in with the short side at the top, and I put it in with the long side. I wasn't even thinking, I was more concerned with getting those score lines in there. But like I said, we're going to go on just as we started. So we're going to go back and score it 1/2. So just don't mess up like I did. So 1/2 inch all the way down. Alright, and then we're going to go to 1 3/4. And then to 3 inches. And then to 4 1/4. Alright, you're going to turn it over with the long side and you're going to score at 1 1/2 inch. And then we're going to score at 7 1/2 inches. Okay, the bottom is going to be the shorter score line. So this is going to be the bottom, the one that you just ended up with. This is going to be the bottom of your box. So we're going to cut out these little corners right here. We're going to cut this one out on this end. Oops. There we go. Now we're going to cut up on these score lines right here. And I know this is hard for you to see, but just cut up on your score lines on that short end. I'll show you. I'll hold it up in just a moment. You see this the short end right here where we made that score line across there? We're going to cut up on all of those score lines that came this way. And we're going to flip it around and we're going to do the same thing over here. Now I didn't do my folding first, just simply because I wanted to make sure that I could see all these lines. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do our folding. This is the hardest part on acetate because it does not want to fold. But they are so pretty when you get through. Now I use my bone folder very lightly. If you use it too hard, everything will want to collapse on the inside. So just use your bone folder very, very lightly. And I'm just making sure that I got that score line straight. Just like I said, this is the hardest part. Okay, now I press it back out just a little bit and I am going to go to these. Let me make sure. I'm going to go to these and I'm going to fold these up and just give them a little burnish. Not much. You could really burnish these with your fingers. Because if you do, like I said, if you do very much on this with your bone folder, then it wants to just collapse in. I'm going to fold the other end. Right, I'm going to cut these in a little bit at an angle. This is that little piece just where we're going to put the glue. So I'm just cutting it in a little bit at an angle so it doesn't poke out into the other part of the box. Okay. This is going to be your bottom where your shorter little folds are. See, these are longer. So we're going to make sure that these are going to come together okay. And it looks like they are. Okay, so we put double-sided adhesive, and I just use my score tape on here. If you have another tape that is clear, that would be clear for this, then feel free to use that. Have some like vellum tape, something like that that you'd rather put on there so that it wouldn't show, that would be fine. I'm not going to worry about this one since I did score it the wrong way. I'm just going to use that. And then I'm going to use a little tape here at the bottom. I was making this for a friend of mine, and I will be making her another one since I put all those score lines in there that shouldn't have been. But for the purposes of the video, we'll go ahead and finish this one. Okay, on the bottom, make sure you're at the bottom. Go ahead and fold in your side pieces. And again, you might have to, you know, kind of reinforce those score lines. Fold over one piece and then the other, and then just take this backing off and press that down. So there is our back, our bottom, I should say. This is going to be the top, and we're going to make this the back side since that since this part has the tape on it. So we're going to trim off these, half of these little flaps on either side here. This will just make it fold in a lot better. Now I'm going to fold that one over, that one over. I am going to trim off a little of this front one right here and a little of this back one. Just like that. Okay, so there's our box. I'm going to go ahead and seal mine up, and I'm just going to grab some ATG tape and put it on here. Like I said, this is just a for video purposes only box, so I'm going to trim a little bit of this off. Like I said, this is my first one. I didn't have a practice run on this, so we're learning together. There we go, we've got that sealed up. Isn't that cute? I love it. Alright, I want to show you what I want to put in the one that I make for her. And of course, I won't seal this top up on the one that I make for her. I will probably put a ribbon or something around it. But this is what we're going to put in there. We're going to put flowers in hers. I think it will be super cute. So let me grab quite a few flowers. Here's some little blue ones. And dump those in there. These are some of our planter flowers from Prima. That's a few more right there. Here's some pink ones. We'll dump those in there. You could also do these for craft fairs, things like that. I know craft fairs are coming up and people are trying to get ideas to make. You could do this for a craft fair and put some candies in there, gum, something like that. But look at that. Isn't that cute? Looks professional, doesn't it? I'll accept my other bins that I have there. We're going to put our tag on there, and I'm just going to use some baker's twine. Hopefully I can get this through that little opening. Okay, I'm going to use a pop dot and put a flower right here on the top, and that will just kind of disguise my opening a little bit. So we got that there, and there's our little label. You can make a smaller label, a larger label, just depends on what you want. And let's see if I want anything else on there. I think I might actually put, here again, these little butterflies are from our little Prima flower collection. I'm going to put a little butterfly right there, like it's flying toward that flower, and it has a piece of bling on it. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll give this a try. If you do, please share it on our Facebook members room and let me see what you have done. We will talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Bye-bye.